AI's good, but it's not ready to take your job yet. But big companies are cutting developers anyway. And the tragic part, that's not even the scariest thing about what's coming. Over the past year, I've been working with real teams using AI every day. I've seen where it's brilliant and where it fails, and what almost nobody's talking about. Here's what this video will cover. Firstly, where AI actually helps. Second, why it's nowhere near ready to replace you. Third, why companies are cutting devs anyway. And finally, the biggest long-term threat I see and what we can do about it. Don't get me wrong, AI can be brilliant. In my current microsas, I've been using it to help me get up to speed with the YouTube API. It's also great at taking a table spec and generating database stored procedures. Most of the time, I just give them a quick check, rarely need to tweak them. This is where AI excels. Small bits of the system that are a lot of typing, but not a lot of thinking. Vibe coding. It seemed to be all the rage at one point. I even tried it. In not much time, I had a working Google login flow for my web app. But my god, the code was terrible. 40% of what it generated wasn't even being used. Dead code before we'd even launched. The login flow itself used a deprecated OAuth pattern, not secure by modern standards. And also, the flow would occasionally fail. AI did manage to fix this, it was a problem with how the nonce was being used. Not to mention, the small session burned through all my cursor tokens for the month in less than an hour. It ain't cheap, and there is quite a bit of evidence this is currently subsidised, which we'll touch on later. Now, before people scream at me that we're not supposed to look at the code when vibe coding, just stop. It's our job as developers and system designers to ensure what we're building is actually fit for purpose. If you don't care about the code you produce, then frankly, maybe AI should replace you. I would avoid AI for any big section of the system, especially those around security. Use it to look up the latest specs, but do not use it to write the code for you. I've seen on numerous times that it constantly suggests outdated patterns because that's what it was trained on. But here's what really pisses me off. It'll confidently tell you to do something. You implement it, run into issues, then it completely flip-flops, reverses course entirely, telling you that that would never have worked. It will actually try and pull this crap multiple times in a session, just flip-flopping backwards and forwards between two failed implementations. Half day's just gone, all the time it saved me, practically wasted. Also, never trust it for architectural advice. It will give general advice that will destroy your system in production. Case in point, I was struggling with asynchronous library blocking in my async web app. It told me to run it in asyncio.to thread. That sounds reasonable until you realise in a multi-user web application, that approach will absolutely kill your server under load. As someone who's been scaling systems for years, I can spot this advice straight away. But for less seasoned devs, this kind of advice is totally unforgivable. I often ask AI to look at a thumbnail and ask if it's going to perform well, and what I should change. In this particular case, which I found really funny when I was talking about AI, it confidently described me wearing a red shirt. I'm not in the thumbnail, there's no red in the image. If it makes up its responses to an image, why would I trust it writing core parts of my system? With what I've pointed out, it's pretty clear that AI is not ready. So why could it claim your job anyway? The problem is that the corporate world, despite what they say, doesn't prioritise their staff. There's a higher power, the shareholders. The people they listen to only care about the numbers and the stories they can sell. So when Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, went on stage around 2024 and said that AI would make everyone a programmer, that kids might not even need to learn to code, boards and executives heard exactly what they wanted to hear. Combine that with a non-technical, cost-focused CIO and you get a very predictable pattern. Jobs get cut first, and only later do people ask whether the AI actually works well enough to justify it. We're already seeing how messy this can get. Salesforce, for example, laid off thousands of staff, while loudly saying they no longer required the headcount because of AI efficiency. Just 3 months later, they publicly admitted that the company overestimated AI's readiness for real-world deployment, and that this was a reallocation and not a layoff. Obviously, it could never be a mistake, because in corporate PR you're allowed to regret good decisions, just never bad ones. What happens when we don't have any more junior dev intake? We'll end up with a load of bored, well-paid seniors who've become glorified code reviewers, and not of good code, of junior quality work, with quality dialed down to zero. This alone will force some seniors to look for other work. But in the next 20 years, the rest will retire. This isn't even the scary bit, it's the knock-on effect that this creates that is truly chilling. The AI fanboys would have you believe that it won't be a problem because we'll have seen exponential growth in AI capabilities. AI will be handling the full software development lifecycle with ease. I see two main reasons why this probably won't be the case. The first is the data wall problem, and something called model collapse. Bigger models need exponentially more training data. You may be thinking that humans have been doing the internet for a long time, there's loads of high quality data out there. And while that's completely true, these models have an insatiable hunger. In fact, the latest models have already consumed most of this, there's very little left. Then we get the argument, there's tons of AI generated data out there, use that. This unfortunately has a rather large problem. This is a little akin to inbreeding and the models start to collapse. A respected study published in 2023 from Oxford, Cambridge and Toronto universities proved that training AI models on AI data causes irreversible defects. This leads to models eventually generating gibberish and making less sense than I do after a night at the pub. This can be extended somewhat by training on a carefully concocted mix of human and AI data. But there's a problem with this. AI data now completely overshadows real data on the web. And how are we even going to separate the two? Right now, the promise of continuous improvement is looking like a fallacy. Look at what's real. GPT-3 to 4 was groundbreaking improvement. GPT-4 to 5, only marginal gain. There was also reports that claimed that regression in some areas was a thing. The second reason is that AI is starting to show signs of being a large tech bubble set to burst. We can already see the signs when we compare to the dot-com bubble. Major hype? You can't avoid hearing it, it's everywhere. It's failing royally in some areas, just look at the few cases I went over earlier in the video. Not enough infrastructure. The number of data centers the big players plan to open over the next couple of years is unprecedented. And on top of that, the financials just don't stack up. According to reporting by The Information, based on internal OpenAI projections seen by financial journalists, OpenAI's own forecasts suggest its losses could triple to around $14 billion in 2026, with cumulative losses through 2028 totaling tens of billions before it expects to reach profitability later in the decade. It's important to note that these aren't publicly audited numbers, but they do indicate just how expensive scaling AI at this level really is. This can only realistically go on so long before investment starts to dry up, and they know it. That's why OpenAI is desperately looking for other forms of monetization and cost saving. One of these has already been announced to be rolling out towards the beginning of this year, and that's adverts to free users. For cost savings, they're already looking at aggressively quantizing models. This is a bit like taking the graphics of a modern game and replacing it with Minecraft assets. You'll still know what's being displayed and what to do, but the detail and quality has been lost. And deliberately dumbing down models goes directly against the myth of models getting better year on year. If either of these scenarios was to play out, we're going to see almost an extinction level event for development as an industry. It'd take decades for us to come back from that. This isn't science fiction. We've seen it before across multiple industries. Intel had manufacturing quality issues following their most experienced process engineers retiring. This caused them to miss yield targets on advanced nodes because the tacit knowledge, the stuff that wasn't written down, walked out the door. Aerospace had similar problems. When trying to recreate the F1 engines, even with the blueprints, the younger team just couldn't replicate what the original engineers did. We even saw this in our own field with the COBOL developer crisis. All the COBOL developers retired, leaving banking systems no one could properly maintain. We still live with this issue today. So if what I've predicted comes to fruition, how can we help stop it being an extinction level event? If you're a leader, don't stop hiring junior developers. You might have fewer of them, but at least we'll have some in the next generation. Don't blindly trust AI code. Make sure it stands up to architectural and senior level scrutiny. And I'm not talking TOGAF monkeys, I mean people who can actually do the job. Use the 30-70 rule. AI handles 30%, your developers do 70% of the work themselves. That's not being inefficient, that's buying insurance. For juniors or anyone learning to code, don't use AI as a crutch. If you don't understand the code it's producing, cut back. Think critically about what you're asking for. AI isn't great at nuance. If you don't guide it, it'll make things up. Make sure you can do the full cycle on your own. Write code, iterate and improve it, debug when it breaks. If you can't do this without AI, you've got work to do. If you want an edge in the future landscape, don't just stick with frameworks, write real code. Expand your portfolio to cover other parts of the stack. Learn SQL, understand databases, get comfortable with infrastructure. And for fun, in your spare time, write something in a bare metal language like C++ or Rust. If you understand how the machine works under the hood, you'll be way more valuable in a world where knowledge is scarce. Look, there's a real chance I'm wrong. It happens occasionally. Maybe AI lives up to the hype, maybe the financials work out, maybe we're at the start of an exponential curve, not a bubble. But here's the thing. If I'm wrong and you follow my advice, use AI strategically, keep hiring juniors, maintain fundamentals, you'll be fine. Maybe slightly less optimized, maybe not growing quite as fast. But if I'm right and you've bet everything on AI, there's no coming back from that. You have a minimal team, your seniors retire, you're left with systems that nobody can maintain. So ask yourself, what's the bigger risk? Missing out on some productivity gains or betting your entire company on a bubble? I know which one I'm choosing.